This is a lady named Yeda, and this is a lady named T. Welcome to Bed Crime Stories podcast. I'm your host, T. I am hoping that you are having a lovely day, whether it's the morning, the afternoon, the evening, sending you positive vibes. I see you and you are beautiful. Like, share, subscribe. And now let's dig in. The Sebastian Rogers case has officially become a shit show and a circus. So instead of people planning grid searches to look for Sebastian, this little dumpling of a boy, we have a lot of people dealing with lawsuits. We have people threatening people about potential lawsuits. So who is Yeda J? She is a woman who was on the YouTube channel CLUMinati the other night. Yeda is Katie Proudfoot's cousin on her mother's side of the family. And Yeda is very upset about a lot of things. Yeda is very upset because she claims that Sebastian Rogers' father, Seth, never called the authorities to do a welfare check when he, Seth, found out that Katie had Sebastian with her, along with her mother, who is a registered SO. Katie took Sebastian with her to her grandfather's funeral, and that would be the funeral of Katie's mother's father. Seth has said that he called the authorities one time when he found out that Sebastian was in the same room, the same house with his grandmother, the RSO. Yeda is saying that never happened. I don't know why Seth would lie about that, but this is what Yeda is claiming. Yeda is basically upset with the entire so-called green team that would be at night. Seth Rogers, Tony Mathis. She definitely doesn't like Tony, and she says he's not a good guy. Yeda's also upset with JLR because apparently he doxed the Facebook pages of many of her relatives. Yeda is claiming that she has been threatened by the green team and told to keep her mouth shut. And the person that she is claiming threatened her is the guy named Nick the Hat. He allegedly threatened her with a lawsuit. According to Yeda J, the green team did not want her coming out to say what is or what is not true. So Yeda has had to retain a lawyer, which apparently has forced her to delay a surgery that she needs. I don't know if she has to take the money that she had saved for the surgery and apply it to her lawyer, not sure. Yeda's also claiming that Seth has said things to her that he explained differently on his YouTube channel. She's also angry with him for making money off the case. She mentioned him raking in money. That seems to be a sore point with Yeda J. And while Yeda J was on the panel on CLUMinati, she allegedly received a message or an email from Bullhorn Betty, and she said that Bullhorn Betty was threatening her. Yeda's also upset with Bullhorn Betty because she's been talking about Katie's mother, and even though Yeda J doesn't condone what Katie's mother has done as an RSO, she is saying that she doesn't want her family spoken about at all. And she made it sound like the vast majority of family members are good, decent people, even though she doesn't get along with everybody in the family. So now, while Yeda J was talking on this panel, all of a sudden, guess who showed up? Yeah, Chris Proudfoot. And he was in his usual reactionary state of mind. He was livid. He clearly doesn't like having anyone talk about Katie's mother and Sebastian and about him, and he even said, don't talk about Seth. So he was telling Yeda J, keep your mouth shut. Stay out of our business. None of this has anything to do with you, so why are you putting yourself in the mix? What I find weird, once again, is why it's always Chris coming onto the panels and yelling at everybody, basically on Katie Proudfoot's behalf. Why can't she defend herself? Why can't she be the one to show up on the panel? It just seems really weird. I do believe Yeda J though, because she was visibly upset. She was upset with Chris. She asked to speak with him offline, privately, and they agreed to do that. She was also very, very upset when she received the threatening message from Bullhorn Betty, allegedly. I'm going to play you a portion of what went down when Chris showed up on the panel. Take a listen.
No,
you probably don't even know who I am.
no. The only, I didn't even know your name until it was like in the injunction. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And what'd she do?
Nothing.
And then this whole cycle came around again the other day when Betty did this whole rant about Francis and, Katie bringing Sebastian to the funeral, which, by the way, there was always 30 to 40 people coming and going to my aunt's house. My aunt, which Sean had always respected. And yes, Francis was there. It was her father. But my cousin and his wife stayed the night over there for the funeral too. And by no means would my Aunt Suzanne ever put Sebastian in a position of in harm's way, ever. And he knows that. And when Beth gets here, I'm trying to confirm this whole welfare check call. If he did that, it was for spite. Because he knows that Sebastian would have been with his great-grandma Suzanne.
Have you and your family been visited by the police?
Nobody ever once mentioned to me anything about him doing that. And I've talked to him a few times, and he knew I was at the funeral. And he never once mentioned anything about him having to do a welfare check. There was no written agreement that Sebastian couldn't be anywhere near his grandmother. I mean, he just didn't want her near him, which I wouldn't want her left alone with him but he was there with his great grandma.
So the rumor about Sebastian being left with Katie's mother, you find to be untrue.
There's no way.
Thank you.
Katie would not do that.
That's important.
No way in hell.
I don't want to call out the elephant in the room, but is this like Chris on panel?
You know it.
Another one.
Oh.
And I've been listening the whole time. Good afternoon, Miss Yeda. How are you?
I'm fine.
Well, I'm not so fine with you right now, to be honest with you.
That's fine.
Because I have not had the pleasures of ever seeing you face to face. And after speaking with your family, we won't ever see face to face.
Oh my God.
I don't appreciate you opening your mouth and inserting yourself into a situation you got no business being in. No.
I'm just here clearing up some lies.
No, you're not clearing up air, ma'am.
Mom.
No, you're not. You're not clearing up anything. All you're doing is jumping from panel to person to person and getting yourself involved in something you don't need to be involved in. You really don't.
Okay, whatever.
Ma'am,
Clue,
do
if you have any more
honestly think
questions,
that the videos out there aren't still out there?
Maybe hear him out,
Oh, I know what he's talking about, but what I'm saying is I've heard so many lies that I'm trying to clear them up, and they're bashing Katie about being around her mom.
So hear me out for a minute. Okay? Maybe you wouldn't have to clear up some lies if you didn't get involved. That's what I'm getting at. You inserted yourself into something you're not a part of. You haven't seen Katie since that funeral. You really haven't. You have not been a part of Katie's life. You have no involvement with Sebastian, with Seth, with me, my wife, any part of that family. You don't. But you have inserted yourself for no good reasons. Now, when was the last time you spoke with your whole family? Let me ask you that question.
With all of them combined?
Good
been a long
proportion.
time.
Exactly. There's a reason for that, ma'am. A real good reason for that. That's not something we're going to air on this show or air out anywhere else. But I would like for you to think about it. I don't
there's a
appreciate
reason.
you.
You probably don't know the right reason.
Well, it's like this. I've talked to enough of the family. I'm willing to listen to you.
Oh, I'm not giving my reason on live.
Yeah, don't.
Okay, well, I would be more than happy to talk to you offline. I am more than happy to talk to you.
I think that's a really good idea, actually.
I
do
would
think
be happy to
you
hear
guys
it.
should have a conversation, not
I
in
will
front of
ask you publicly from this day forward, don't speak about Sebastian. Don't speak about Katie. Stay out of this situation. You're doing nothing for it. You're already sitting here trying to, what you're calling, squash the lies. That's fine. Squash the lies with the proof. Bring the receipts, bring paper to the table, not verbal. You can't prove a verbal situation unless you have a recorded session of it. So once again, it's your word against everybody else's words, and it's so on and so on. So once again, it does nothing for this situation. So I'm asking you politely, don't speak about us anymore. Don't bring this up to anybody else, because your involvement is not welcomed.
Okay,
It's
so
really
Granny,
not.
you don't want that email?
You can give that her. I'm telling you from me about my wife, my son, even about Seth. Don't speak about us anymore.
Okay.
Period. You leave it alone. We do not welcome you into this conversation. We don't welcome you into this situation.
Well, I would
Part
love
of it.
to talk to you privately.
I think that's a great idea, actually. Is there, Chris? Can I send you her email address?
Well, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
That would be great.
And Miss Ida, if you want to chat, we can chat on the phone. I'm okay
Send me
with
an
that.
email with a phone number, and I'd be happy to.
I can do.
Okay.
I can email her your number if you want me to.
I feel like Yeda J can't win. She's saying that the green team wants to silence her. They're telling her to zip it up. And now we have Chris Proudfoot from the other side also telling her to zip it. And really what she's trying to tell him is she's trying to protect the family. She's got Katie's back. She's really more supportive of Katie than, say, Seth Rogers. Yeda is saying that her grandmother, who would be Katie Proudfoot's mother's mother, would never put Sebastian in a dangerous situation. She would never leave Sebastian alone around Katie's mother. And Yeda is also saying categorically that nobody in Katie's family has Sebastian. Nobody's hiding him for them. She wants to make that clear. And by the way, again, Yeda said she doesn't condone Katie's mother's behavior, and she understands why Seth would be concerned about Sebastian being around Katie's mom. And Yeda seems most upset with the Green Team threatening to make her a defendant in their lawsuit against certain other YouTube creators, like Granny's Watching. And apparently during the show, Yeda received a message, allegedly. We didn't see the message, so I can't say that I saw it, from Bullhorn Betty, saying that she, Bullhorn Betty, was going to go after her whole family now, presumably because Yeda spoke out about Bullhorn Betty. So it's so confusing. Here's what I think. No one should be suing anybody else unless someone is truly threatening them, slandering them, especially if it's to the degree that law enforcement has to be called or that an attorney needs to be brought in. I don't understand why Bullhorn Betty would be threatening this Yeda person, especially when she needed to be in a courtroom for charges that she's facing. I'm sad that Sebastian's case has gotten to this level of cray-cray. Once again, he is lost under all these layers of bad behavior. I try to keep up with everything, and instead of discussions about evidence, I'm sifting through 4-hour-long lives that get a lot of clicks, by the way, trying to decipher what in the world is going on. CLUMinati was advising Yeda to call law enforcement because of Betty's alleged threat. And that's what I would do if somebody threatened me. Then there was talk about, well, not on this show, but another show, I heard talk about the 3 a.m. car seen in the Proudfoot's neighborhood on the morning that Sebastian went missing. Some people are saying that that car was impounded. At Night Media came out on X to say, no, the car has not been impounded and you should stop talking about it. So right about now, I don't know what's true. I don't know what's not true. I don't know who's with who on what team. It's all one big cluster F. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I will see you next time on Bed Crime Stories. Let's keep Sebastian Rogers' face out there, his name, numbers to call if you think you see him, and if you have some spare time and you live in Tennessee, maybe go out and search for him. Love you guys. Please smash that like button